Welcome to this YouTube video, which we're gonna explore using C1V1, C2V2. It's really ratio and proportion, knowing fixed concentrations of your stock, and you're gonna see how fun this is. I actually love this to do all of my calculations, right? And so the Can and Ready Pharmaceutical Clinical Calculations textbook use Q1 C1, Q2 C2, which really means quantity for Q. But we use C1 V1, which means volume. So we use volume. Volume is normally for liquids and quantities for like semi-solids. And so it's really a matter of semantics, words, okay? But C is consistent because that deals with the concentration. So to use C1V1, what must be known at all times? The concentration of what you desire, the quantity of what you desire, the concentration of what you're using, and the concentration of what you're using. And then one of these you're solving for the unknown. We use proportion to set up our equation. And as I said, you may see C1, V1. V1 means volume, Q means quantity. So don't be fooled. Let's look at it. A pharmacy technician combines 15 grams of ointment base. Remember, ointment base would be 0% because there's no drug in it. And 25 grams of zinc oxide, 10% ointment. So this aliquot, 25 gram aliquot, is carrying zinc oxide in it, and the stock is 10%, which means 10 grams would have been in every 100 grams of the stock, but we're not using 100 grams, we're using 25, so we need to do that dimensional analysis to find out how much drug is really being carried by this. Determine the concentration of the resultant mixture. Let's look at it using C1V1. The total is 15 grams plus 25, 40 grams. So the pharmacy technician has a new product, a new dilution of 40 grams, and that would be C2. Now, C2 or V2, so V1, C1, V1, Q1, C1. I like C1, V1. It's volume, quantity, it's interchangeable, okay? Now, here we know 10% and 25 grams is the original stock being used. We have made a dilution, but we don't know what the concentration is. So you set up your variables and you made the unknown the subject, and this proves that 6.25% is the dilution that this technician has prepared. Now, let's look at it. Again, I like to prove what I've done. It makes me confident when I leave my assessment or prepare my lecture notes for you. So let's go. Zinc oxide being carried by the stock, it's 10%, which means 10 over 100 times 25 grams, means 2.5 grams of zinc oxide is being carried by that aliquot of stock being used. So the product concentration says 2.5 grams total API over 40 grams total product times 100, that's what percentage means, is 6.25%. 6.5 grams, let's change that to percent. Right? There we go. For the API. Right? And so you've really proven that the concentration of what we have just made is 6.25%. Not very difficult. And so that brings us to the end of a video on how to use C1V1 to figure out the concentration of a stock, knowing the proportions and the concentration of what you have mixed. So have fun using this, and it can be used for volumes or weighted substances such as your semi-solid formulation. Don't forget to like this video if it has been beneficial. Thank you.